Today's episode is fueled by Bang energy drinks. They're not a sponsor, but we're open to suggestions. Today I am working on the dining room settee, or the dining area settee. Doing it similar to what we did on my bus is that it will have the batteries will be underneath the seat, and there's enough space in the back for all the electrical components, the fuse block and the charge controller and inverter, and all that can be right in the back of it. In order to do it, luckily, because I've done this on mine, I don't have to do a whole lot of hard figuring. I did that years ago. With one sheet of plywood, the actual base of the seat is 24 inches, so we got the split. The top is 6 inches sloping down towards the seat, 3 inches, gives it a nice comfortable lean, and the seat's 18 inches up off the ground. So now it's just a matter of measuring, drawing lines, getting the saw out, and cutting it up. The good side I have down, and that will be the one that, either one will be facing out into the living area. So it looks nice. It doesn't have all the little check marks like the back. The other side, it'll have the good side facing in, but nobody's going to see it unless you open up the battery box to the back. So it's not really all that important whether it's good or bad. So let's get measuring. Not obvious product placement. .42. .24 by 18. And 9 inches. 9 inches from the side. Six inches at the top. And there we go. Cut it off at 42, and you can see this side and the mirror on this side. And I just got to get the saw out. We'll cut across there and then cut up to here, or cut all the way through. I don't know. Got to figure out the best way to cut this. I'd like to leave this big piece if I possibly can, but the bigger piece, I like to leave bigger pieces just because they come in handy.
Call him. Ruger, come here. Mama, are you paying Steve? Yeah, with the...
What you saw me do back here was a plunge cut, where you're taking the circular saw and going down through. You got to be real careful and real slow so you don't, it doesn't get off and kick back on you and ruin your piece, but it also doesn't saw all the way through because the blade is circular. It won't come all the way through, but I can take this thin saw and just neaten up the corners here. Go, got to save that bigger piece for later, and now I just got to split these two in half. we go. They should be identical within reason. So there's your sides to the settee, and now I need to put them in place. The one thing is that whichever one's the nicer looking one is the one that's going to be out. The other one, I've got to deal with the chair rail. So what I'm going to end up having to do, measure that, cut, let's say it's this one, cut it off so we can adhere to the bottom of the, below the chair rail and above the chair rail. So the opposite thing is to build the wall out a little bit, but I don't think we really need to do that. This works and keeps everything nice and tight up to the wall. So let's take it inside and see how it looks. We'll go from there. All right, so putting the settee in, it comes out farther than these hoses are for this heater. This heater is moving to the other side of the door. So in the interest of not making the settee video too long, I'm not going to show you doing all this. That will all be included in the moving the heater to the other side to be under the couch in a video coming up down the line. Because I want this to set flat, I'm going to cut this piece off above the chair rail and another piece below the chair rail to fit in, and that way it'll be nice and flush up against the wall and no place for stuff to catch. Okay, so we're putting these spacers in because this wall's already got a ½ inch up here. We want the bottom half to match up to the top half.
I'm worried about that.
It's not product placement got in the way. Not a sponsor. And now that we got the spacers in, just gonna screw it.
Is that good enough, or do you want? Is that okay?
Huh?
Is that okay?
Yeah. Yep, put the next one in. So now we're going right along the edge, same thing, pocket hole screws. Keep going. It's gotta keep going because it's got to draw it in. See, we're going to draw it in so that crap goes away. Just like that. Now let's put one up here at the top. And see how this is, that's fine. And see how this is bowed out just a little bit. What we're going to do is put one in about the middle, one of those two, and I'm going to push this in so that it's nice and flush like that. Go ahead. And see how this is pretty good up here. It's down, so we're going to take and back that bottom one out. So the basic box is done. We put in supports, and now a little tight. The difference between this and mine, I put a support across here. I don't think that's needed, and by doing it this way, it makes it easier for us to get in here for when we put the batteries in. And I got to trim this just a little bit to get this to fit. But there's the back with a little bit of a space. That's how you do it all out of one sheet of plywood. Again, I got to trim it a little bit to get it to fit, but there we go. So we're having a lot of fun, almost too much. Hope you are too. We'll see you next time. Measuring. Not obvious product placement.